guys, welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for watching. Today I filmed my updated foundation routine. So this is just the routine that I normally wear every day when I do my makeup for pretty much anything. So I did everything up to like my eyes and lips. I did use the Kim K palette and I had some patchiness issues. So definitely be looking for a video on that because I want to play with it some more. Today was the first time I actually used it. And Graham's here. You guys want to see Graham? Say hey everybody with my bed head. Say good morning. Oh, he's so sweet. Okay, here's my dog too. Like, why you guys all being so clingy, man? This is Bentley. He's the weirdest little, most awkward dog, but he's so sweet, baby. Aren't you so sweet? Look at him, he's so strange. So yeah, everything will be listed in the description box, and if you guys want to see how I apply my foundation, then just keep watching. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and get started. My face is already prepped as far as like being cleansed and moisturized, and now I'm gonna go in with my primer. So to prime, I'm going to take this Sisley primer. Now I know, well, let me flip it around so you can see it. So I know this is very expensive. You can spend your money on what you want to spend your money on. I'll do the same for me. So if you don't want to spend $190 on your primer, absolutely don't buy this, but I like it, it's really good. Now I will say that I got a little deluxe sample of the Tarte Silk Canvas Primer, I believe that's what it's called, with the Sephora order. And I forgot that I had it, so I put on Sisley first and then put the Tarte over it. And my makeup stayed so much longer with the Tarte, so I'm going to keep trying that out and let you guys know which is better. Now, if you were interested in trying out the Tarte and you watched Kathleen Light's video where she tried to find a dupe for it, she talked about the Amani Perfect 10 Primer Serum. Now, the textures don't feel the same at all on these, but this primer is really good. So I still reached for the Sisley over that one, but the price difference is huge. I think that one's like $30, so it's worth a try. But again, I will keep trying out the Tarte, but since this is my current foundation routine, I'm going to do what I always do. And I do get pretty good wear out of this, but not as long as when I mix this with the Tarte. So now for foundation, another product that I just bought a ton of, but I'm going to use what I normally use. I have the Dior Forever foundation in the shade 21 and then the Estee Lauder Double Wear in the shade 1W2. I just mix these two. I love the combination because it wears really nicely, like all day, and I like the finish that it gives. So I use about a pump and a half of the Dior and then a little bit of the Estee Lauder. Now as far as my skin type, I'm pretty normal. I do get a little bit oily on my chin. But I've tried mattifying primers and mattifying moisturizers and it really doesn't make that big of a difference. So I've just started using everything on my face the same way like that I do on the rest of my face. So I do love the Estee Lauder Double Wear, and I try to focus if I get like one glob that's not as mixed with the Dior and it's just Estee Lauder Double Wear, I'll try to put that mostly on my chin. But if I don't, like today, then I don't really worry about it because it does control oil pretty well. Okay, now to blend this out, I used to use my Sigma F80 like religiously, but I've actually been favoring the Huda Beauty foundation brush more. And I will drag it down onto my neck. I'm just going to stipple it all over my face, making sure I get it in my hairline under my little headband. I will blend some of it onto my eyelids just to, you know, conceal some of that darkness, but I focus it mostly just on the rest of my face. Now to make sure everything's blended and really smooth and seamless, I'm going to take our damp Real Technique sponge and just kind of go over everything so there are no streaks from the brushes or anything like that. Now for concealer, I'm going to take my little concealer cocktail. You guys probably heard me talk about this on my top 3 of 2017. So I'll start with the Becca Under Eye Brightening Corrector and then go with the Nars Soft Matte Concealer. And I'll just take my ring finger, get some of the Becca, rub it in between my 2 ring fingers, and then just dot it onto my under eye. The reason why you use your ring finger when doing anything with your eye, like eye cream, anything, is because your ring finger is not as strong as the others. It has less pull. So you're not going to tug on your eyes as much because that's like one of the most sensitive areas on your body. And no one wants eye wrinkles. Are you with me? So do that. Just make sure it's nice and blended in. And then I'm going to go in with the Nars. I use the shade Honey Light 3. It's got a really peachy tone to it. I don't feel like you'd be able to use it on light skin at all. But it works for my under eye. Do the same thing. Dot it on. Now for concealer, I'm going to take the Tarte Shape Tape, of course. Still haven't found anything better. I'm going to use the shade Light Sand, which is pretty light, but I'll mix in some light neutral if I feel like it's too light once I'm done. That's kind of what I've been doing lately. Do a little bit of the chin, and then down the bridge of my nose. And as always, I feel like I say this so much, but you know, you might not watch all my videos. So whenever you're applying your concealer, if it has like an applicator like this, always make sure to blend it out with the applicator, because when you go in with a damp sponge or a brush, whatever you use to blend your concealer, if you leave the product like, you know, in a clump under your eyes, you're going to blend most of that away with the brush or whatever tool you're using. So it's good to spread it out so you get more coverage, and it, you know, saves you more product in the long run. And I'm just going to blend this all out under my eyes, even take it up onto my lid to prep for eyeshadow and to conceal the veins and discoloration. Same thing on this side. I'll take it up in between my eyebrows just to make sure everything's blended there. But I don't highlight in the center of my forehead, just because I go in with a good bit of bronzer. And since this area is already going to be the same color as my foundation, I don't really feel like I need to add more brightening, because that just, you know, leads to the possibility you can get more cakey there. So I just let my bronzer do the highlighting of my forehead for me. So I'm just going to keep blending this out. I'm good with the contrast between my foundation and this concealer, so I'm not going to add any light neutral today. But I'm going to blend it around my mouth, in with my chin, and make sure I don't have any harsh lines here. To set that, I'm going to take the most amazing powder in the world that I've tried so far. This is the Maybelline Fair Light loose powder. This is so good. It's better than Laura Mercier, which I used to love. And that powder is $38. This one's like $10, $11, I think. Either way, it's affordable. Even though drugstore prices are creeping up, it's still affordable compared to the others. So I'm going to go ahead and take my sponge one more time. Make sure I don't have any harsh lines. Everything's nice and blended before I set powder on it. I'm going to take a disposable cosmetic sponge and just press that to my under eye. And I'm also going to take it up onto my lid. Now the reason why I set my lid with the powder as well is because when you're going in with your eyeshadow, this is another thing I say a lot, it's easier to blend powder eyeshadow over a powder instead of damp concealer, especially if you're like a beginner. So this makes it much, much easier if everything's already prepped and ready to go. And same thing over here. And I'm gonna take a little bit on the center of my chin, let that bake. Now I have been taking the Charlotte Tilbury powder along with the Lancome Absolute powder and like pressing that to my skin, but I don't do that every day, so we're gonna go with the everyday, but it just does give a nice glow. So I'll take what's left in the cap of the Maybelline Fit Me powder on this Real Techniques powder brush and just kind of, you know, pat that all over my face. And then I will go in with the Absolute powder and use what's in the cap of it, because it does have a really nice sheen to it. I don't know if you'll be able to tell just in the pan, but this powder is amazing. So I'll just take what's left on that and just mostly put it on my forehead and nose, because I go in with so many different cheek products you can't really see it after that. And then to wipe away my under eye bakage, I'm going to take my e.l.f. small tapered brush and just wipe all that away. And I left a little portion of my eye unconcealed. I don't really feel like messing with it, so I'll just put highlight, inner corner highlight later. Now for the rest of my face, I'm going to leave that on my chin, just sitting. But to start to bronze and kind of contour, first I'm going to take my Sonia Kashuk number 130 brush and my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, just the original. And I'm going to take that. I always put my brush in the side so I can just focus the color on where I really want it. And I'm just going to apply that onto my cheek to contour. Not really contour, but I do use this bronzer because it has more of a like grayish tone to it. So it works, but it's not too gray to where it looks like a real shadow. So I like it a lot. It just kind of lifts the face a little bit. Makes it look slimmer. And then for my nose, I don't do a, you know, really defined nose contour, so I'll just take the same brush with no excess product and run it down the sides of my nose. Nothing fancy. Like that, just to add a little bit of something. And then I'm going to take my Tom Ford brush. This brush is amazing for bronzing. It's the 05 brush. And to actually bronze my forehead, I'm going to use the Loreal True Match powder in the shade W7. This has a really yellow undertone, which I like. Another bronzer that I've been leaning toward is the number 7. I have the shade Caramel, or Caramel, however you say it. But that's a good bronzer as well. I like the Pure bronzer that's got some shimmer. Matte Give Me Sun. But we're just going to take that, dust that all over the forehead. But it gives a really nice color, and to be a drugstore product, it does last a very long time.
Where's Daddy?
He's in the bed, buddy. Oh. And then make sure I get that to my hairline well, but my eyebrows, so I don't have any bald spots. And then I will blend that into the contour a little bit. Now for blush, my favorite blush of all time is Milani Rose D Oro. It's a gorgeous shade. I'm going to apply that with my Morphe E4 angled blush brush. And I love bronzer, I love blush, so I put on a bunch. Kind of blend it up into the powder products. And I'll also put that on the tip of my nose because I like that kind of flushed look, rosy look, and I just put it on my nose. I do it on my clients too. It looks really cute and flattering. Once you try, you'll be hooked just a little bit. What, baby?
Daddy's going to Mama and get me some toys. And here, I'm going to go.
I'm going to take my brush, the same e.l.f. Small taper brush.
Hello.
And say, hey.
Hey.
Can you see? Stand up on tippy toes. Say good morning. Or wherever you are. You're so cute. Okay, I'm going to take that and wipe that off. And I will take what's left on this disposable sponge, and just kind of carve that out. Or just use my damp sponge is what I do most of the time. But I have been doing this lately. I really don't have a favorite highlight at the moment, but I've been using my Anastasia A23 brush for a while now. And I'll just use Fuego today from the Desi and Katie Dose of Colors collab. But I'm just going to take that on the high points of my cheek. I don't take it up onto my forehead and everything like that, but this works for me. So on both sides of my cheek, I'm just going to do that. And then I'm going to take a little bit on the tip of my nose. I usually don't do my Cupid's bow. I've probably only done that like 3 or 4 times the entire time I've been wearing makeup over the past years. And then to set, so I'm going to wipe off this little bit of bakage first before I do that. And then my foundation will be done. So 16 minutes it took me to do it for just the foundation. I will set off camera because I have to finish the rest of my eyes. But I use my Urban Decay All Nighter first to lock everything in. And then just to make the makeup look more like skin and make me look more fresh, I'm going to use the MAC Fix Plus. Because this is not a setting spray, it's a refreshing spray to make powder products look more like skin, make you look glowy, dewy, perfect, all that kind of stuff, ethereal. That's what MAC Fix Plus is for. So I just use this one first and then this one on top. And I used to do it backwards, but this combination with this first and this second works a lot better and makes it last longer. That makes sense. So I'm going to finish everything else and I'll be right back. Okay guys, so this completes the makeup look. Everything else that I'm wearing will be listed down in the description box, and if you guys have any suggestions of future videos that you want to see, let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys again for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!